Hi everyone! Welcome to the Guidebook training video. My name is Jess and I'll be your guide building expert throughout this training. Builder is Guidebook's content management system, or CMS for short, so you'll be on the platform frequently as a guide builder. This video intends to familiarize you with the basics so you can get up and running. If you have questions or are looking into more complex solutions, don't hesitate to email us at support@guidebook.com, chat with us in the lower right corner of Builder, or reach out to your account manager for questions about your goals or promotional strategies. I highly encourage you to follow along, so go ahead and log in to builder.guidebook.com to get started. This is your Builder homepage. Most of you watching this video will have both a personal account and an organization account. You can use the down arrow on the left-hand side to switch between the two. The guides your organization has purchased will be associated with the organization account, so make sure you're looking at that and not your personal one. Now, let's get users added at an organizational level. Adding members to your organization will give them access to help build and manage the guides you have purchased. Members of an organization are either organization administrators, org admins, or organization members, org members. Org admins are able to edit everything, including the space and the app. Org members can only work on guides that an org admin has invited them to collaborate on or given them permission to begin working on. Throughout Builder, a house icon is in the screen's upper center. You can click this anytime to return to your Builder dashboard. Depending on what your organization has purchased and your access level, you'll see different options here. The Org Guides section contains all your current and previous guides that have been started and the ones that you can access. You can click on any of these to edit content for an active guide or review a past one. If your organization has purchased a branded space or app, you'll also see an Org Spaces option on the left. I'll pause quickly here to describe three terms you're going to hear me say frequently: app, space, and guide. Think of the app like a library. It's the empty container for your space and your guides, and it handles the branding elements specific to the Apple and Google Play stores. The space is like a bookshelf, and it carries some branding elements, like the colors and theme. And the guides are like books, where resources like the schedule and speakers list will live. You can have as many books as you like. Okay, back to business. Click on the space to get to your branding dashboard. The branding dashboard allows you to create, edit, and submit your space or app quickly and easily. When building out your space or app branding information for the first time, in the left column of the branding dashboard, you'll see a list of items that you still need to update before you can publish the space and app. You can click into each of these and fill out the required information, or you can click into each of the cards in the center of the page. Let's do that now. You'll do the same when editing existing content. Once you've added everything and submitted your guide, you'll see a big blue button on the left side that says Submit App for Approval if it's a first-time submission. Don't forget, if you update any content in the branding dashboard, you will need to resubmit your app. App submissions can take up to 10 days. To generate a promotional QR code, your app will need to be live in stores, so it's worthwhile taking this timeline into account when you're planning your app promotion. Let's head back to our Builder dashboard. Click Build New Guides on the left to view your unstarted, pre-purchase guides. Contact your account manager if you don't see this tab and need a new guide. Every guide here has subscription dates, or dates that the guide is active and can be used. Double check that the event you're building a guide for is within those dates and it says active, not pending. Once you've confirmed that, click the guide to get started. Here, you can choose to start your guide without a template and build from the ground up. However, if you are building a second guide and you really like the way your first guide turned out, you can copy the skeleton over to a new guide and just update the content. Once you've either started a brand new empty guide or copied your content, you'll land on the guide editor page, or guide canvas, where you'll spend most of your time. The right-hand side acts like a to-do list for building and submitting your guide. After all of these items have been cleared and you're ready to publish the guide for the first time, hit the Submit button, and your guide will enter our approval queue if you're attaching to the Guidebook app. Once your guide is approved, that same button will change to Publish Updates, so whenever you make changes, just click that, and your updates will go live within a few minutes. If you have a branded space or app, your guide attachment will need to be approved by an admin at your organization. The left-hand side is where all the building happens. In the top left, you'll see a support drop-down that links to helpful support articles. The Help Center option will take you directly to our support site, or you can chat with our customer success team by clicking Chat with Us. The really cool thing about this support drop-down is that it will only recommend articles to you based on the area you're working in, which makes it easy to troubleshoot if you can't remember keywords. General Info and Edit Guide Details are the same feature, but we're going to start with General Info, only because we can take a look at the Settings tab here. This is where you'll enter the guide's basic information. You'll find fields for event dates, time zones, location, branding images, even privacy settings. We do have 3 privacy options, so make sure you pick the one that will best fit your event. Click through each tab to fill everything in. Don't forget to take a look at the Settings tab as well. Every feature has one. This is where you can customize the feature names and icons, update which feature is being seen as the home page, even create a Guidebook web page by using the availability toggles at the bottom. Click the X in the upper right or return to the left-hand menu to exit that section. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty and dive into building your guide. The menu or feature list on the left shows what users will see when they open the guide's navigation menu. To reorder them, just drag and drop. We generally recommend you put the most important features at the top. You can also see at a glance what features are available in the mobile guide and which you have set to be visible on the web page by looking at this column here. Let's add some more features by clicking Add Features to your guide. What you choose depends on your goals and the information you want to provide. I'll add a few now. You can always come back to this and add more later. Let's talk about the schedule, one of the most essential features in your guide, the bread and butter. You can add sessions manually or with a template. For the template, click Import from File, then download the template from the upper right. Let's focus on adding a session manually. Start by clicking New Session and add information like the session name, the date and time the session is happening, and a session description. The more information you provide, the better the experience for your users. Once you've added as much information as you can, click Save. To edit sessions or list items, click into them directly, or you can export and re-import using the template for bulk edits. Inside a session or item, you'll notice several tabs. The linking tab is incredibly useful. You can link to other guide content, PDFs, or external URLs. For example, I might link a speaker to their session or upload resources such as PDFs. If you want to make it a bit easier, there's also a linking template in the same place as the schedule and custom list templates. The Videos tab lets you embed live or pre-recorded YouTube, Vimeo, Zoom, or Twitch content, and the video will play at the top of the screen when the session is being viewed. Each individual session also allows session discussion, where your users can get in and ask questions or talk to each other about what they're learning. But don't worry, we can always disable that if we need to, either individually or by using the Master toggle in the Settings tab. Alright, back in the schedule, let's look at some extra tools, such as Schedule Tracks, which are filtered views of your schedule. There's a Tracks column in the import template, and List populates during your import. You can also pin tracks to your menu and organize them into folders if you want to make the schedule navigation a bit easier. Do you have a limited amount of space for a session? Do you want to require your users to register for a session and view who signed up? Our Attendance tab here will let you do that. You can allow your users to choose their own adventure and add any session to their schedule, or you can require them to register and set space limitations and even add a wait list. Now, let's take a closer look at a custom list. Custom lists are key to your guide. You'll use them for anything that makes sense in a list format, like your speakers, resources, exhibitors, restaurants, sponsors, FAQs, and so on. You can either add items manually or you can use our template. If you're adding manually, click New under the Items tab. The only required field is the name, but I suggest adding more. For example, for a speakers list, you might put the person's name in the name, their title or company and subtitle, and their bio and description. You can also use the contact email field or add links and other contact information in the description. If you're starting to feel like it's a lot, don't worry. I'm here to help, and every feature I've covered has a step-by-step support article with visuals. You can also always reach out to our support team if you do need further assistance. Okay, so once you've added sessions, speakers, and other list items with locations, you're ready to set up maps. This makes your guide interactive and helps your users navigate. Click the Maps feature, then Add Map to upload your image. Builder provides recommended dimensions throughout the platform, and we have a support article covering all the image specs if your design team needs it. After uploading, draw regions on the map and label them with the locations. And that's it! Labeling hundreds of booths or departments does take a bit longer, but it's worth it. Users will have a much easier time navigating your venue or your campus. With Engage plans, you don't need to do much in Builder with the Interact, Leaderboard, Connect, and Photo Album features, since these are mostly user-generated. But they're incredibly valuable because they drive engagement and networking. You're welcome to rename these features to suit your audience better. For example, people often rename Interact to Newsfeed, as well as rename Connect to Connect and Chat. You can also reach out and have us make a QR scavenger hunt for you. One tip I always share is to upload a couple of photos to the photo album ahead of time once you've published the guide. This helps get things started. You'll be able to moderate content in our moderation tab on your guide dashboard. You can even add sponsor posts to Interact, which show up in a format really similar to an Instagram or Facebook ad for great visibility. Speaking of sponsors, they're often key to your success. There are lots of ways to incorporate sponsors into your guide, but two of my favorites are those sponsor posts I just mentioned and banner ads, which you can add from the bottom left of your menu. For more creative ways to highlight sponsors, check out our support articles. Before we move into the guide dashboard, I want to quickly touch on a few other features you might find helpful. Web views let you add a URL directly to your guide's main menu. This works great for a donation page or a key sponsor's website, anything where you really want to drive traffic directly. User tools like My Schedule and Notes are also helpful. They let users add sessions to their personal schedule and take notes while using your guide. While you're still building, you can generate previews of your guide, but just know that not all features are fully functional in preview mode, so I recommend publishing early. Once published, you can change almost everything, except for the guide name, the event dates, the short name, and the expected attendance in your guide details. So unless you're promoting the guide already, there's minimal downside to publishing early. And if you want to be extra safe, just change the privacy setting to restrict access until you're ready. If you're still with me, thank you. You're crushing it. Let's head up to the top left and click Back to Dashboard. The guide dashboard gives you an overview of information as well as acts as sort of a homepage within Guidebook Builder. You can also add individual guide admins, editors, and attendance managers here if they don't need access to the full organization and all the back-end information that I mentioned earlier. Feel free to click through the cards and get familiar with them, but I'll point out some of the key things here. Audience management is where you can add and manage your users, from importing lists and sending invites to setting up user interests. I want to note here that if you choose to set your guide privacy to invite only, your users must be on this list in order to access your guide. You can also manage session registration, track attendance, and even create preset schedules for different user groups. This is also where you can moderate all the content that your users are adding to your guide. The good news is you won't have an anonymous user in here adding things. They must have an account and be logged in to interact with your guide in that way. Once your guide is published, or if you have a branded app and your app is live, the Promote section includes a QR code that your users can scan to get directly into your guide. The web page address for the Guidebook webpage you may have built, sample emails, and other tools to help spread the word are also here. Notifications lets you send messages to your users, including push notifications, which are available on most plans. You can schedule them in advance, or you can send them live. They're great for announcing sessions, sending photo challenges, game reminders, or communicating schedule changes on the fly. In the Forms and Live Polls section, you can set up, forms and live polls. Forms can be added to your guide's navigation or linked to specific sessions or list items. You can use them for feedback, trivia, learning assessments, whatever you need. Just don't forget to set the purpose to choose where it will live in your guide. Live polls are awesome for session engagement as well. Some other things you can do from the guide dashboard include setting up a leaderboard to gamify actions your users can take in the guide, set up integrations to streamline your processes, create event badges for your attendees or your staff or your speakers. You can even create a marketing website to get your attendees excited about what's coming. And then you can use our registration platform as well. Last, but certainly not least, let's talk about metrics, your best friend when evaluating success. You'll find usage data here before and after your event. Super helpful for future planning. Before I wrap up, just a reminder, I'm always here to support you. Whether you contact our customer success team, use the chat and builder, or even connect with your account manager, we're more than happy to help you create an incredible experience. Thanks again for sticking with me, and happy building.